guys, today we're going to be doing an oil change on a 2021 Audi S5. This is the B9, B9.5 platform. It's going to be the same procedure for any of those vehicles, so A4, S4, A5, S5, RS5. Only difference will be your capacities and your oil specification. Refer to your owner's manual for that. Moving into the tools and materials that we're going to be using, we have a regular socket wrench with a 1 1/4 inch socket that's going to be used for the oil filter. After we're done with that, we're going to be using a torque wrench to torque that to spec. We have our fluid evacuator down here that's going to be used to get all of your old oil out. Over here we have the Liquimoly with the Hengst filter. This is all part of the FCP Euro oil change kit. All comes with exactly the amount of oil that you'll need, along with the oil filter, as well as a drain plug and washer, which we won't be using, but it does come with that. And yeah, we'll go ahead and get started now. First thing we're going to want to do is go ahead and get the car out, get the oil up to temps. It'll just make it easier to get it all drained out. Okay, so now that we're back from our drive, our oil is hot and ready to be extracted. So the first step that you're going to want to do in the engine bay is go ahead and get this cover off. It's held on by 4 grommets. You just got to give it a tug and it'll come right off just like that. Over here, you'll see where, for us, it's a engine oil dipstick, but for any factory vehicle, it'll come with a plug from the factory. And if this is your first time doing the oil change, you'll find out pretty quickly that it's quite difficult to get this plug out, especially doing the oil change multiple times. And later on in the video, we'll show you checking the oil after filling it up. And it's much easier to check with the dipstick rather than using the MMI. So now that we have the engine cover off, we can go ahead and take off the engine oil fill cap and just leave that to the side just a little bit so that we can get some ventilation. And then next step after that will be to go ahead and take the dipstick out. So we're just going to pull that right out. And then we're just going to wipe it up. Oil still looks pretty good, but we're going to go ahead and change it since it's at the mileage that we want to change it at. So now we're going to want to take the tube for the fluid evacuator and put it into the dipstick hole. And you want to get it down all the way until you stop feeling resistance, just like that. And as soon as we do that, we can go ahead and start the evacuation process. And once you get a few pumps in, it'll start to get a steady flow. You're going to want to keep doing it for a little bit. And yeah, so you're just going to want to wait until that keeps filling up. In the middle, you might have it slow down on its flow and you're going to want to pump it up a little bit more. But you can see it's starting to fill up already. The S5 has around 7.7 quarts of oil, which this extractor actually has markings on the side. So you can see when you're at around that amount. So you'll know when you're pretty much done filling. So we just finished up evacuating all the oil out of the engine. We got right around 7.5, 7.6 liters out, which is about on par with how much is required for the vehicle. And next step is going to be on this oil filter. We're going to go ahead and get that out. Okay, so now that we have our fluid evacuator out of the way, we went ahead and put our oil dipstick back in just so that we don't forget about that later. We have our oil filter already cracked. We went ahead and did that while it was evacuating right at the end so that we could just get a little bit more ventilation through it and get as much oil out into the evacuator. And so now we're going to go ahead and put our 1 1/4 inch socket back onto there and loosen that up all the way. Okay, so now that we have the filter housing out and the old filter out, we can go ahead and remove the old O-ring. You can just use a flathead screwdriver or a pick or anything like that to go ahead and take that off. Once we have that off, we can go ahead and replace that with a new O-ring. That comes in your filter, and you're going to want to grab some oil and just lube up the new O-ring so that it's easier to take out next time. And then go ahead and just place that right back where the old one came off from. So with the new O-ring now on, we can go ahead and put the new filter in. You can do either side, they're both the exact same, so it doesn't matter which way goes down. So we'll go ahead and put that in. Just want to squeeze it down until you hear that click, and now you're good to go and put it back into the engine. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put the filter back in. So just take your housing and go ahead and hand tighten it for now. And then you're gonna wanna start with your normal ratchet just to get it a little tight. And then there does have a torque on here of 25 Newton meters that you're gonna wanna do. And then as soon as you start feeling a little bit of resistance, you're gonna wanna switch over to your torque wrench, have it set to 25 Newton meters, and go ahead and torque that down. So now we're on to our final step, which is filling up the engine oil. And it's about 7.7 quarts for the S5 and the S4. That does vary for the other B9 models. However, it is 7.7 quarts for the S5, which is what we're filling up. It is cool to see that the liquid moly does have a green tint to its oil. And yeah, so we'll get back to you as soon as we're done with that. Done filling up the engine oil, we went ahead and put the filler cap back on as well as the engine cover. You do want to go ahead and check your dipstick if you have a physical dipstick, or if not, you can go ahead and check the dipstick in the MMI to see what you need to adjust as far as your oil level goes. But yeah, once you're done with that, you're all done with the oil change. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. This was our first video. We're gonna have more videos coming out with this car with regular maintenance as well as some modifications. So if there's anything y'all wanna see in particular, go ahead and comment down below. But thanks for watching, and like and subscribe.